Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you might be. Welcome to my channel. 2026 predictions for relationships. You're going to see less couples venturing off, going into their own dwellings, even though they're separated. Why is this happening? Economy. The cost of rents, groceries, utilities, and everyday living is becoming astronomical. People are finding it almost, if not impossible, to live on their own now. You've decided that it's time to move on, but you've both come to the conclusion that living separately is not affordable for you. It's not a reality. Can we live underneath one roof? Yes, you can. I'm going to give you some clear steps on how you can maneuver these changing ways in 2026. First one is emotional maturity. If you checklist this one off, the rest will fall into place. What do I mean by emotional maturity? Somebody that's able to express their emotions in a way that does not hurt others. Also, somebody that is able to digest their emotions, rethink before they speak so that their words do not hurt others. Are you this person? Do you fit into this category? Are you able to think before you speak? This is a huge one in order to make the relationship work. Emotional maturity allows you to think of the other person. Somebody that is emotionally mature will have some empathy. With empathy comes trying to understand how the other person feels. If you're able to do this, then you most certainly can live underneath one roof with your ex-partner. Number two is boundaries. Now, you would think that this would be something that would be, pretty clear. You need to have boundaries. But some couples fall into where these boundaries start to overlap simply because they've been in a relationship for years. So what do I mean by boundaries? Boundaries definition clearly states where one thing starts and where it ends. So being clear in the relationship right from the start. Once you decide to separate and live underneath one roof, your boundaries will need to be clear. You will need to let your partner know there is no longer a physical contact. Okay, you're two separate people now. You'll also need to let your partner know very clearly what portion of the bills you're willing to pay, okay? You will need to sit down and be very clear of, is it 50-50 or would it be 70-30 depending on who brings in more income? That would be something you would need to work out. Also, your space. It's really important when you're living underneath one roof as two separate entities that space is given for each person to live privately. Will your home you're currently in provide this individual space, or is there an option for the two of you to rent a bigger place so both of you can still live independently? This can work out absolutely perfect, providing again that people have emotional maturity, boundaries, and the third step to making this work out is you're going to need to get together to do a will. For when one person passes, it needs to be very clear what happens to the home. If the two of you are in a marriage contract and both of you own a home, you're going to need to decide, are you going to allow the other partner to keep the home? Or is this something that you would prefer the partner sell and maybe divvy some of the monies off to the rest of the family? In 2026, there's some major changes going on in relationships. We're going to need to become creative and learn how to maneuver these. Now, I'm speaking more to people in 55 years and older that are either thinking of retirement or already in retirement that don't have young kids at home. If it's just the two of you, and you've been living quite a few years in separate bedrooms, which is quite normal, and you've just reached the stage maybe where you're thinking about dating other than your partner, This brings in a whole new energy into this living underneath the one roof. Now, you can date other people. This is certainly an option. But again, it's going to come down to, is your partner that you're living with emotionally mature enough to handle this? Because this could become quite an awkward, hurtful situation. Now, if you would like me to go more into how to maneuver a relationship, living together, separated underneath one roof, and looking elsewhere for a relationship, let me know in the comments below. I would be happy to do a video for you based on that. I hope this video brought you some clarity. And as always, be kind to your heart.